Okay, y'all, I'm back. I ate some sunflower seeds. Took a bath, and some more shit. But I had to regroup because I had to do. Anywho, Kiki Opuda of No Good Do Gooder, KNO and the NO. Alright? I was talking about like up in your spiritual game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at it's a real life game with your life. You know, and the devil thrives off of you not knowing that motherfucker is manipulating the fuck out of you. Okay? Now, what I mean by that is, let's say a situation happened and it was a beautiful situation, right? And you remember every detail of that beautiful situation. And you at home and you chilling, you know what I mean? You might be thinking about it. You might be doing something else, you know? But it pops up in your mind vividly. And it's like, whoa, this is exactly how my awesome ass situation went. Like, what? You know? And when you think back on what you was thinking about and what you was doing, and it wasn't related to that, like you weren't in a lustful mood, you weren't in a love mood, you weren't in a thinking about it type feel. You was, let's say, doing business or something, right? That's the other person. Now, people can do things and don't know they're doing it, but then there are professionals out there that know they're doing it, you know, because they want to stimulate your mind to get you excited so you can come back to them to do it again. You know what I'm saying? And they keep doing it, right? You have to think. When you tell someone that you got some things to do, somewhere to be, or you got to stay on task and on schedule, and somebody keeps throwing you off task, off schedule, not really hearing you about you saying you got something to do, and then it's like auspiciously going over their head. Like, girl, I ain't know you said that. For real. You know, or you know it's way past time for them to be at your house because you might go to bed at a certain time, and you like, all right, yeah, no, whatever. Habitual time wasters. You know, delay you on purpose. Because you know, this is why it's Earth School, okay? If you was in motherfucking school and you had a paper due, and that was during the 15th at 9:30 in the morning, you get that paper in. If you ask for a grace period, you know who to ask. The teacher, right? Or professor, right? In Earth School, you are both. You are the one learning and the one teaching. The inner and the outer. Okay? And so what you would end up having to do is say, hey, wait a minute. These thoughts keep getting me thrown off. Who was I with when I was doing da-da-da-da-da? You figure that out, you know it's that person. You know, then next time you're around that person, you want to be mindful of your thoughts around that person. Get what I'm saying? Or when you see the slick sly shit, how they just want to linger around, and you be like, damn, yo, you ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't got no kids, no pets, no nothing. What's up? You don't want to just take a day out or off and go to the movies or something? Like, you want to just stay up under me all the time? Habitual time wasters. You know, they scared if they leave, they're going to miss some important information about you making plans. Don't matter what the plans are. It's just motherfucking plans. Okay? Because they got to know your plan to intercept your plan. You know, I don't have nothing red. I ain't have nothing red earlier either. But it's to intercept your plans, right? Damn, I got my hair wet when I was in the shower. In the tub. And if you know that that's what they're doing, right? You're going to say to yourself, I ain't going to be saying my plans out loud. I'm going to keep it to myself. Or, you know, I'm going to limit the time frame of this person coming over, being in my house, or me freely giving my business, you know, my information to them, whatever. And spiritual people in the negative, they understand that. Just like they understand your birth chart, your mission, your destiny, your spiritual rank, your inheritance. Like, they understand everything about you because you're already a target. And so that friend that you were around and a certain situation just keeps popping in your head, and you know that friend is there 9 times out of 10, it is that friend that's trying to lure you back, but they're part of the agenda, okay? And then it's also another thing as far as you being able to recognize, they call it mental illness. I'm going to call it your spiritual gifts, okay? It's only a mental illness if you don't know shit about spirituality. Because when someone projects thoughts your way, you can look at it like, damn, these are my thoughts. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know, you know, why this is appearing in my head all the time. You know, I'm trying to do something different, focus on something different, whatever. But this keeps happening. And then when you take the medication and the medication ain't working, somebody got your mind, sis, bruh. And you want to keep that motherfucker too. And they don't give a fuck about what you learning. They want to make sure they scrambled all the goddamn signals. Where you get your signals at? Your brain. It's first. Then it goes to the other parts of your body. So if you spiritually grow your brain, and that's in any area, because I said before, heaven is like earth. Hell is like earth. So you can put yourself in an etherical class, and you can have an etherical teacher, and you can make your teachers Mother and Father God. You can make your teachers yourself. You can give them a whole different persona, okay? Main thing is, as long as you're learning, all right? And you're learning spiritually. What I mean by that is, we have to study math, but we don't use math for a lot of stuff unless you are into some form of architect, construction, chemistry, biology, something like that, right? But the world is made up of math. Spirituality is math. And it's the complex math, you know? And you're wondering to yourself, man, how did they create that symbol, you know? How is that symbol, like, so relevant and so relatable, you know? And why does this symbol hold that much power? It's how it's created. And it's who created it, you know? And it's your job to see, like, what that symbol could do for you. That's how spirituality works. It's like love, okay, is something you can't see. with the naked eye. All right? The naked eye. You are able to see love vibrationally. Okay? Love still has a frequency. If you got any soundboards or symbols or any of those types of equipment, right? I ate some pistachios, okay? It don't matter if it was salt, sand, regular ground, pistachios, rocks. It don't matter what it is. You turn that vibration on the love frequency, it is going to generate a shape. That is the shape of love. It's the same with heartache, pain, sadness, happiness. And then that vibration, it turns into that shape. Next thing is the energy produces a color. Okay? And that's how you get your names for your colors too. You know? So it represents something deeper than just being a crayon or just being a flower or a shape, you know, or just being used for science and not spirituality type thing, you know. And you have to understand that if you apply the outward things like what I just suggested, like you're feeling that vibration of love and you're hearing that vibration of love and then you're seeing that shape of love and then you're able to actually see color in real time. All versions do a spiritual shift in your body, you know, which is a change. And it's a change in like your DNA structure. Like your DNA, it can't go backwards. It goes forward all the time as we learn something. But you might think that your DNA is going backwards, okay? Because you see parts of yourself aging, or you see parts of yourself changing in a faster pace, okay? It's really about what information you're feeding here. And your stomach, but here. You know, change the information here. Everything on you get younger. Stay younger. You learn a lesson, you don't have to learn that lesson again. Your DNA will change and accommodate or adapt to that lesson, and then you just move forward. You know what I'm saying? And when you come across another lesson, you learn what's going on up in that bitch. And you just keep moving on. And a lot of times you don't realize that you're being tested. But every step you take is a test. Every step is every thought is a choice. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you get that into your mind, some stuff with you can come like naturally. You be like, oh yeah, I know what to do with this. And then it's done, right? The things you have a challenge with, You got to repeat it for you to understand it, for it to sink in, for you to get it, right? It's the same when there's a problem. God gonna keep presenting that shit right to your face, time and time and time and time and time, until you realize, like, fuck, alright, I gotta handle this problem. I need to look at it for what it is, see what is wrong, and fix all that I can. And what I can't fix, I ain't gonna call up my homeboy or my homegirl for them to do some fuck ass, dirty ass shit to another motherfucker. Okay? That's thinking below your waist, your animalistic parts of yourself. No. What I'm gonna do, after I feel I've done all that I can, I'm giving it to God. You know? I'm saying to God, hey man, check this out. You know, I done dealt with this person, I done did this, I done did that, I done asked for this, I done asked for that, I have said what I'm thankful for, what I'm grateful for, what I don't understand, what I like, what I don't like. You know, I've crossed things off my list. Some things are still open. I can't force someone to communicate, and I can't force someone to open up their mind or their heart, or because all those things are choices. You know, I can't force a person to see what I need them to see, or even what you know, want him or her to see. And so that's like you went through all the motions, you exhausted all your options, you know. And then you go to God and explain to God, like, hey, I did these parts to my job, or this part to my job, okay? And God's like, all right, cool. You can throw it. Throw that ball on over here. Pass it. You know, God ain't just gonna fuck up the game. He's not like that. Excuse me. I don't care what sports analogy that you want to use. God is always going for the goal. Okay, excuse me. I ate and I got his gum. He's going for that touchdown. You know, he's going for that 3-pointer. You know, he's going at the tennis ball. He making sure you get the win. He's ready to strike your ass out in fucking baseball. You just get it. You know what I'm saying? You know, he on that goalie, everything. Understand, God is perfection. God is imperfectly perfect. That's what a God is. He go through every trial, tribulation that life brings your way, and it's not that you come out unscathed, but you come out a changed woman or a changed man in thought, theory, in every area of your life. You know, because when you go through some real tough ass battles, and when you don't have, I ain't gonna say you don't have someone you can throw that shit on, because it's obvious motherfuckers find somebody, right? But what I'm saying is, you know it's something that you gotta take control over. You know if you don't do it, it ain't gonna get done right. You know if you don't say certain words or be at certain places or handle certain shit, it's not gonna get done right. It's just not. And so it might be an added task to your day, week, or month. But you do set aside some time to handle that and tackle that, you know. And that's what I did, you know. I knew in order to get my life back, my identity back, I had to take control of my life. Okay? Where once it was out of control, spiraling downhill, I had to take control of my life, which is I got to go back up that hill. It's the same like regular exercise, people. The roller coaster, the up and down. You're building strength. You know, you're building change. You're building adjustments. All right? And then you're also building a reservoir that's yours, not no one else's. Nobody can come in and be like, can I borrow some energy until tomorrow? You know, that's essentially what these folks are doing without saying this is what we're doing. You know. And it seems like the balance would have to be something on the lines of, I'm not giving out any energy today, and I don't even know how much my energy is going to cost for the day because, you know, I do this right here. I do that right there. And I don't know what you need to use it for, you know. And then if I do lend it, if I didn't give you the right currency, I'm still fucked. So, I'm sorry. I can give you some eggs, though. Some sugar. Want some ketchup? You get it? You can't give yourself away. And sometimes that means like what I'm doing. How I'm so free with information. Always been like that. And then the free of information spiritually, I told people. And they did the exact opposite of growth. All right? That's like shit coming back to bite me in the ass, right? To an extent. Okay? When you show someone something or you teach someone, or if you look at them as an apprentice and you are the professional, if you're not right there, you're not guiding their choices. That responsibility is always theirs, not yours. You know. The only way you can be roped in to their responsibility is when I don't know, Lynn want to meet Shirley and Lynn want to tell you about Clyde that just started talking to Shirley. And you gonna take the advice, or you gonna be like, nah, I don't get into that. You know. And it's more some of the lines need to be like, nah, I don't get into that. You know. Like the mature way is to be like, well, Lynn, you got problems with Clyde. And you might think that them problems have something to do with me. But actuality, it does not. It got something to do with you and Clyde. Okay? And what I can do is I can tell Clyde when he get home, have him call you, okay? Or matter of fact, you want to stop by? Like that. You dodging a bullet, or you're not like getting into the future negativity as that bitch is spent and swirled around with some little spell work too. Okay? Because eventually, Lynn gonna say something to Shirley like, girl, he was saying that about you. I ain't even know, like, So those things are red flags too. And I'm that type. When you start talking about somebody else, okay, that person ain't here. So I said, look, nah, I don't want to know nothing that I don't supposed to know. I don't want to know nothing that's going to implicate me or have me to make a decision about anything that I am not 100% aware about. When you look at it like that, you, sir or ma'am, off the hook. Meaning of their bullshit, their karma. It's theirs. It'll stay over there. The minute you want to be a counselor, a therapist, a psychiatrist, anytime you don't mind letting the motherfucker come in and they lay on your couch and talk all their shit, boy, you're inviting in everything. But you, as all those names, professionals I named, you know that. And you already know that type of shit will fuck with a person's mind, heart, emotions, their soul, spirit, right? And you just really what you doing after the person come in, you fucking with it anyway. They just don't realize you fucking with it. Then you have people like myself didn't know. When you pay attention to people, places, and things, you just know. You know. And as a very young child, I learned to listen to my intuition. You know. I did, however, use that to help out a lot of other people. And not myself. As chosen ones, or as anyone's on this planet, we have to help ourselves. You know, it's a part of like your duty here on earth to learn spirituality, because that is what helps you learn who you are, like at your core. You know, like your first being when you knew you was straight, you was on mission, you was about, you know, getting the shit done. You know what I'm saying? That was like, I'm fucking this gum up. I can hear it. It might seem like I ain't ate shit, but I ate some hamburgers and gravy, mashed potatoes, and some peas. They're gonna stay like that, Bible. You have to take time off for self. Learn yourself. You know? The way I figured out I had like Egyptian descent, I look at my hands and my toes. And when I was a little kid, I wish my mother was here. Gosh almighty. When I was a kid, okay, I said, Ma, this your hand and this daddy hand. She said, how you know? You know, how can you tell? I said, Ma, your ring finger, yours got this lump right here. And I said, on my ring finger, I got the same lump. And then I said, your nails got that automatic, like, McDonald arch curve. You know? I said, daddy hand, straight. Straight. Everything on it, like, straight. You know? Even down to the nails, you can tell they're going to come out. Then you just square and good. You know? and on the feet too. So even when people would be saying shit like my ass adopted or a different mama daddy and all that shit, I knew that wasn't true. Because the people that were playing or pretending in the spirit, by the way, to be my parents were of like Cuban, Puerto Rican, or Dominican, Hispanic descent. And I could go for Hispanic too, hey. But I knew what my parents were. You get what I'm saying? And I knew down to my own body, I already belonged in the right place. It didn't have me like confused, like, oh my God, what? But people do that, okay? All right. Now I knew that one half of my body was my mom's, the other half of my body was my dad's, like that. And I got deeper. They say you could tell by your toes on like what lineage you come from. Greek, Roman, Egyptian, Irish, like that, right? I went on YouTube trying to figure that shit out. I was like, oh shit, I got Egyptian toes. Get the fuck out of here. All right. Then, when I'm going through my anemia and different things like that for my health, and I know I'm doing healthy shit, and it's like, why isn't, that kicking and popping off? It was because of what everybody else was doing. When people are stealing your energy, you can look at it like an outside field, okay? But the energy that they're really stealing is your blood. That's the most powerful thing in your body. That's something that's alive all the time. It doesn't deactivate. It always continues to activate, change, growth. Just depends on what you putting in that motherfucker. Stimulate your blood. Gotta stimulate your mind. Cause you can look at your blood like the oil in the damn car. As soon as that motherfucker run out of oil, that bitch gonna lock the fuck up. So you need the oil. You know what I'm saying? Gotta stay flowing, growing, knowing, doing. Like, make it into some double dutch. You know what I'm saying? But us black folk, you incorporate some music, a lot of shit opens for yourself because that's what we was born off of, heavenly music. Like everything creative wise, arts wise, intellectually, like that's us. And while everywhere else will want you to be like a stick in the mud, stay in this line. Don't get out this damn line. If you gonna dance these dances right here. Don't do none of that other shit. Shit like that. And I'm telling you, one time I broke those rules. I remember I was in a gospel choir. And I was in high school or middle school. One of the two. And it was a gospel song that I love. Okay? And we're on stage and everything. But I'm not even paying attention to, like, I'm on stage. But it was like the music was moving. And the beat was hitting, And I'm getting my clap on and everything. And, I'm rocking and all that. And then I started doing regular dance. I was like, oh, shit. still singing. You know, I was like just getting it. And then I look out into the audience, okay? And it was either my mother or my grandmother was like, no, cut it out, stop it, stop it, you know. And I'm like, what? You know, I was like, getting it, right? But that's an example. But the feeling felt wonderful. And it's something about when you get the feeling of wonderful, just knowing how it feels. You want to feel wonderful again, you know? And so what I started doing, I wanted that wonderful effect all the time. Like, it's better than a drug, you know? And whether I did something to create it and feel that feeling, or someone else did, I know it's a wonderful, like, feeling because it goes through my body and it instantly is, like, remembered, you know? And if you had to, let's say, store feelings, store the good ones. Stop storing the bad ones. When you store the good feelings, you can pull that out. Like, you know, like this heart. You can pull them good feelings out and say, oh, got one right here. I know it's going to match that bad bullshit. Let me throw that shit out there. You know, if you got to pace your way through it, the bad shit, just implement some of that wonderful shit in there. It makes it lighter. And then on top of it, when you've done everything you can do, when you give it to God, He ain't gonna miss. And let me explain, because people don't fully have a faith in spirituality, fully have a belief in spirituality, the hope, everything you can't see that's good for you, the joy, the happiness, okay? But you understand all the sorrows and pitfalls and pain, because that's what a lot of people put us in, right? Pass that ball to God. He knows every hair on your head, every grain of salt, every grain of sand. That right there, that nigga ain't missing no beat. He know all the beats. So, it don't matter if it take, he might could say, oh yeah, this gonna take 40 beats of your heart to change that. You try it, shit change. It's like, what? He's on to something. That's how God works. Because he gonna throw you some shit back. That's gonna get you the points you need, the goal you need to reach. When you co-create with God from the inside, there's no way you can lose. God already knows your destiny. You get it? He already knows your fate. He's already aligned with it. Because He's the all that is and all that will ever be. You can't get away from motherfucking God. You just can't. But when you pass that ball, you might get a thought in your brain about reading some literature. I don't know, you might do a random page, or you might have a specific chapter that you want to go to. Then you start to come across answers to your fucking questions. Then you're going to be like, damn, God gave me the answers. What you need to really grasp is it takes like, sometimes something to jog your memory or someone to jog your memory, okay? And spirituality, no matter like what you calling on, okay, they're all spirits, so they're all energy, you know, and it's hard to like identify what or which spirit it is. So you just go to the main spirit, God, and then God will say, hey, I got some angels assigned to you. I got some gods assigned to you, and I got some ancestors assigned to you. You know, you don't have to know those names, but you'll know when he's speaking to you, because those names will be pulled out. And when you read about him, you're going to be like, man, that's really catered to my situation. Like, man, I was thinking about doing that, but I just wasn't sure if that was the appropriate route to go. And then it's going to dawn on you, oh, shit. This is my higher self, my higher angel form helping me. This is my ancestors inside my DNA helping me. This is the God within me coming out. Okay? And the reason why I would say that God was trapped, locked up, you know, down in a dungeon, and that the devil was roaming free. And when people be saying they going to church and they praising God, no, you're not. You're praising the devil, because I ain't heard of one pastor, preacher, minister, priest get you Christ conscious. That shit ain't happened since Jesus. So, God is at the pit of hell in your belly. Stuck. And then the pit you're using down there, I hate to say it, that was a box of rocks. Because it ain't like locking in. You know, from the bottom to the top like this. And then this like formed a cross like that. But you ain't locked in. You know, that means you raising your demigod, okay, from out of jail, from out of hell, putting them in heaven, okay? That's your consciousness, thinking on a higher level. The balance is they meet. And that's like, hey, how you doing? Lower self. Hey, how you doing? Higher self. All right. We work together. Okay, yeah, we're going to be good. Now we're going to be balanced. Because you're going to understand when it's time to tap into that lower. And when it's time to be in your higher. You know. That in turn makes you a well-rounded individual. That also means you're in tune with the universe. It also means that you have no limits on your education. You know, or your topics, all right, or your views, you know. And what I mean by that is, if you have a religious viewpoint about, let's say Catholics, okay, and in your mind you might say something like, yo, us Catholics, we the shit. You know what I'm saying? We got the Pope. We got, all the old relics. We got the scrolls and all that shit. Can't nobody fuck with us. We the shit. Okay? And I'm doing my part with the Catholics to make sure we keep the shit operating and going. You're willing to even do bad shit to keep it going. And you would say something like, oh yeah, that's like my loyalty, or, that's part of the job, or this is what I gotta do. Da, 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 da. You yourself are not at a higher place. Your religion isn't at a higher place either. Because you can appear to be in a higher place than where you're supposed to be just by going off of looks, clothing, accolades, programming, a whole lot of different things. It's the part of knowing it's other religions out there and that you need to be well versed in all of them, and that you don't necessarily shun not one God because you feel like their God is less of a God than your God, and it's actually not. It's just that God is multifaceted. God has came back several lifetimes, and whatever was popping at that time of a lifetime, God exalted that. Brought it to its highest order as far as like rules, laws, even spiritually. Because every religion practices spirituality, but every religion practices in the negative. To bring it to the positive, you got to think like God. Like God doesn't have time, to come back to earth to handle like petty squabbles. He said, she said, lying under oath, stealing from somebody, or, lying on somebody. Okay? It's trivial to God because God gave us 10 commandments that say you ain't supposed to be doing that shit. That means God always been a nigga. And a real nigga at that. And them 10 commandments, what's that saying? Stand on them 10 motherfucking toes you got. Own up to your shit you got. And when murder is like number 7 or 8, and then lies is like number 2, you get more judgment, more karma for them lies. Because what you spew out your mouth can start a whirlwind of fucking trouble. Just off of what you say. And so whether like you sending a hit, whether you are the target, or whether you doing it yourself, you still doing a disservice and sending a ripple effect through the ethers, because you won't never stand on your 10 toes about real shit that you was already supposed to be equipped with the responsibility to handle. It's kind of like the 42 laws of Ma'at. You're supposed to already understand and handle that. 10 commandments, you're supposed to already understand and be able to handle that. 48 laws of power, supposed to already understand and know that. Art of war, supposed to learn that. I already know that. It's certain things, even when you look at it scripturally in any of your desired religions, your prophets were masters. You don't understand the magnitude of what they have mastered until you read their individual book. So when you don't want to go to the library to read it, you know what I'm saying? Or hell, if you just don't want to read it and you want to listen to it, every book you can possibly think about is on YouTube. It can be pulled up on Google. You know, somebody's orchestrating it, narrating it, something. And you can incorporate more things that they did within themselves. And it's going to show plainly they let it exude out of them. You know, it's more like their books are their diaries and confessions, you know. Their ways, you know, to do certain things. Like I knew at an early age, there was a reason for us to be taken off our land. There was a reason for us to be reprogrammed, reschooled, everything. If we stay going the natural flow never loses. The natural flow always wins, you know. The natural flow will get you Christ conscious ASAP. The natural flow would already understand, you know, the power of the mind, the heart, your blood. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta take the cap off of your thinking. You know, not looking at the black and white, but looking at like the favoritism, the habits that are not good. Because it's like, you know that there are certain habits that are not good for everyone. And then there are certain habits that are just not good for certain people. And then when it gets narrowed down, if you exhibit this habit, then you, sir or ma'am, are maybe like this. Shit like that. And I've had different mental illnesses like placed on me. But I understood that I was not the source of the mental illnesses that I was diagnosed with. Okay? I understood that these were planned out trauma to be done to me to make it look like I had karma. Before I was enlightened or tapped by God or whatever, you know, I would always look at every situation and be like, yo, I ain't no fucked up person. I ain't did this, and that to somebody that'll make them snap and do certain shit. But I'm getting done a certain shit fuck type of way. You know. And that's when I didn't know that shit, a person can cloak you in they nasty energy. And they could just transfer your good energy all over to them. And then you wonder why you're getting hit with all the nasty shit. It's because of that nasty bitch. It's like that. Look at that nasty nigga. Because they know they already nasty. And they did the spell work for you not to know that they nasty. That's what I'm finding out, you know. And so once you know, it's like, okay, let me just get all my shit back from this person. And even when I mean that, or say it, I ain't talking about going to you, running up on your crib and being like, yeah, them shoes I bought you, blah, 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 or whatever. Watch don't matter, whatever, right? No. I'm talking about everything spiritually that you wanted to take, you wanted to have, you wanted to remove from me. You had your chance with it. It's mine. Now I'm getting it back like that. You know, growing yourself in every area of your life is going to call for you to call back all different forms of like yourself, your energy, your essence, your vitality. Like, you know, you'll be amazed that people would do magic for your smile, you know. And if everyone learned how to be themselves and just be comfortable within themselves and understand how to love themselves and like to be there for yourself, growth will happen. It's like, man, your soul goes from being, what's the word? I want to say like dead soil to that good, rich shit that you can grow some things. And it grows faster spiritually. The deeper you understand something, the more you understand what you like should do and what you shouldn't do, is the more it like increases your growth faster. Now think about it. You can think a thought in a second. And then if you took 30 minutes and every second of it count and you just like information is firing off. Bam, bam. Every time you learning something, then it get faster. It's like, and your DNA is changing just like that. Boop, 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 boop. Because everything's connected all over. And you can look at like the domino effect of breaking something, a habit or something, right? Then picture it like breaking through your whole body. Sometimes you can feel it come off of you, you know? And then when it's an area of weakness, okay, and you are strengthening that weakness, you can actually like understand that's like planting a solid foundation, you know, with your strength and your weaknesses. And that's just like when it's planting a solid foundation, and they always keep referring to the garden, it's because, hey, check your soil thinking. Next thing, your growth. Continue. Let things click. You know what I'm saying? And then, now you want to see what your harvest is going to look like. Big potatoes, small potatoes, right? And if you're aiming for medium-sized potatoes, you know, your thinking got to be on that level so it'll get there. You get what I'm saying? But it'll get there faster in growth spiritually than it does physically out here in the world. You know, they could tell you, what? Some shit'll start sprouting maybe like, I don't know, 7-10 days or some shit like that. But you just changed your fucking world in seconds, in minutes. Growth from the inside starts to grow. It's like it refuels. It exudes. And it produces clean air. Clean air of a fuck it in a good way type of nature. It's kind of like, all right, when you let's say if you had some folk you're teaching, okay? Because technically I got folk I'm teaching because they be going into my channels and shit, right? Well, I don't know y'all don't know me. But you're going off of, I guess, like my aura or some shit. Or like the way I deliver, whatever. Okay? And one day I see you guys. And I'm glimpsing out there at, like my proteges. And it's like, okay, I see, And one of my proteges could be, shoot, let's say 6 years old. And I could have another protege that's like 80 years old. That 6-year-old is going to deliver something. That's like that small potato. But that small potato took in all the right shit. All the right shit. And closest thing to perfect at a younger age. So it's like as a harvest, and that 6-year-old, he grows. That potato grows. Those nutrients grow. And he matures. And if he's starting at 6, and then let's just say at 16, you might say to yourself like, this motherfucker sound like a philosopher. With wisdom. Wisdom has some age on it, right? And then you're like, damn, this motherfucker only 16. That does not make him less than a prophet. That does not make it to where the 80-year-old isn't supposed to learn lessons from this 16-year-old. The 80-year-old can't look at it like, oh, I've been here long enough, I know a lot of stuff, and he or she can't teach me anything because they're only 16. Or if you do a 1 plus a 6, that's a 7. That's some God work right there. And then look at it differently. Remember when I said I saw all of you guys, right? That means I had to host an event to gather all of my proteges, okay? And when you host an event, people are going to get recognized for certain shit, okay? Whether you're a top performer, top producer, a top something, right? What if that 16-year-old is the top? And you would listen to him or her at the meeting, because you would know how big of a role he plays in not just his own development, but yours too. And you would write down what he says, and you could agree. And then you'll look at him like, great minds think alike, or like minds think the same. The age has gone out the window. But if you're in a home setting, a school setting, a work setting, they don't look at you like that. They just look at you like, she's sitting in booth number 6. And I know I should learn from her, but I don't really have to. I know what the fuck I'm doing. But she knows something you don't know. And she can deliver it too. And you need to listen. Swallow your age. Put that shit aside. And get to learning. I'm gonna go cause my baby home. My little niecey boo. Alright. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace in a bottle of hair grease.